Anuj, what are you talking about now? Okay, you talk about shows every week. I've kind of decided that I really want to do a topic that just is me talking about a show. And so this is kind of where I want to, the show I want to talk about this week. And here's my thing, right? Is what, like, there's so many sitcoms, in my opinion, that have gone under the freaking rug because of more popular sitcoms. And so the shows have been quickly forgotten about. So what is the show, in my opinion, that is a fun sitcom that was absolutely forgotten about? One word: Scrubs. It's the show that was freaking popular when it was out, but everybody has forgotten about it. Everyone has forgotten about it. So when did the show happen and what was the cultural impact? Okay. This show took place from 2001 to 2010. So right in the middle of like the biggest sitcom era, arguably in America, besides, maybe the 80s and the 90s. But you had How I Met Your Mother, you had Friends, The Office, all of these sitcoms. Parks and Rec started in 11. So it fell off to the wayside because it was surrounded by these shows that are considered downright classics in today's society. But in my opinion, Scrubs could be one of the classics because the cultural impact was that this show brought the setting of medicine and the setting of a hospital to life, and it made it funny. It was one of the first shows that made a serious medical, like a lot of medical shows that you see are very like, oh my God, he's dying and we need to rescue him and it's 911 or like NCIS New Orleans or whatever the fuck NCIS show is, right? But this is one of the first shows that really tried to make the medical setting funny. And when this show is hitting its stride, it does it beautifully successfully. It's great. It's elite success. And this is one of the only shows that, in my opinion, balances these three things extremely well. It balances extremely stupid, serious, and humorous all at the same time. And it does a really good job of that. And hot take, a lot of people love Grey's Anatomy. They call it one of the best medical dramas in the world. Scrubs is 50 million times better. Scrubs is better than Grey's Anatomy. So how did Scrubs get forgotten? Easiest question. Grey's Anatomy. There's a show called Grey's Anatomy that started in 2004. It's run for like 600 years, and it's a show that just blew it out of the water because it had a bunch of hot characters in it. That's really what it came down to. And it's also more of a dramatic show. And being surrounded by some of the best sitcoms as well as Grey's Anatomy, this show kind of was super popular within its fan base, but it was an insulation of popularity. It wasn't really mainstream at the time. And in today's generation, Scrubs gets called like one of those shows that's just, it's another medical show. It just gets pigeonholed as one of those like 911s or those like NCIS shows. But in reality, it's so much more than just one of those NCIS kind of types of shows. And viewers don't really recognize the true realities of it. So that's why we bring it out here on the Changavi Show. That's why we talk about it and we discuss. So what is this show about? The show is about residents, like medical residents and their experiences in a hospital, sort of rising up the ranks, encountering mentors, love, relationships, all that stuff. Anuj, that's Grey's Anatomy. That is literally Grey's Anatomy. Okay, fine. Okay, you know what? Fine. The plot is it's Grey's Anatomy, very similar to the plot of Grey's Anatomy, but it's much funnier. And it's not just people fucking each other all the time. It's not just people hopping into relationships for the sake of the show. There's also much better characters, in my opinion. There's one character called the janitor who I think is absolutely fucking hilarious. He carries the show. He's hilarious. He's so funny. And also JD is one of the characters that really reminds me of myself. He's one of the few characters that I've actually seen that like sort of resonates. And sort of Scrubs is one of those shows that uses daydreams extremely well. They do a really, really good job of that, which is I haven't really seen on TV all that often. So that's kind of cool. Stars of the show. Who are the stars of the show? Zach Braff, John C. McGinley, Sarah Chalke. I mean, so I'll go through it. Zach Braff isn't really in much TV, but John C. McGinley, you'll probably recognize when you see his face. Sarah Chalke was Stella on How I Met Your Mother. Neil Flynn was this guy by the name of Mike Heck on The Middle, if you've seen that show. And Krista Miller was on Cougar Town. So if you know her or any of her stuff on Cougar Town, she's pretty funny. And she's also funny in this show. Is this show good? It is better than Grey's Anatomy. It is amazing. Watch this show because a lot of medical shows are hella mid. And I understand the sort of contingency of like I don't know, Grey's is kind of the number one in that genre. No, Grey's is not the number one show in the medical genre. Let me tell you that right now. It's a fucking soap. Grey's is a soap. Scrubs is an actual TV show, and it does a way better job of teetering the dynamics of a medical hospital way better. Certified Changavi banger. Yes, that's right. You saw it. I looked right into the camera. Certified Changavi banger. Okay, so go watch it. It's available on Hulu. You can search up Scrubs. All the seasons are there. Don't watch the last season because it really falls off. I don't know what they were trying to do, but other than that, every season is significantly better than the one I've watched from Grey's Anatomy. So watch Scrubs if you like that 2000s vibe of TV, a different style of humor, balancing all sorts of weird elements of things. It's really good. I promise.